नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नीति। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तबिंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन जय ब्रज जनरंजन, जय यमुना तीरवनचारी, जय कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, जमुना तीरवनचारी, जय कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद, Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva 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 Jaya Guru Deva. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Mother Kiran.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Mathura Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Prabhu, Mother Vishaka Devi Showman and Jacob. Wonderful.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prangavinda, please accept my
Hare
obeisances.
Krishna. Obeisances all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Where are you? You're in Vrindavan.
Yeah, no, I'm just traveling. Yeah.
It looks like you are entering into Vrindavan or you live in Vrindavan. Nice.
Maybe some lifetime.
No, why some lifetime? This life. You'll get there.
Yes, I would like that. Please pray for me.
I will. You are a good soul. How can I? You don't need my prayer, but I'll pray if you want me to. You will be there.
I would like it.
So let us begin today's session. And we are, okay. We are on chapter 9. All these verses in chapter 9 are so beautiful. It's like unbelievable, really, to not think about it. Let's see. Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nastaprayesu Abhadreshu Nitam Bhagavato Sevayam Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Mukham karati vachalam pangulangayate girim jatkripatamaham bande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Isharam. So dear Prabhus and Mothers, thank you for joining. This chapter, it's so contagious. I feel like whole life I can just read just this chapter itself. I mean, whole Bhagavad Gita is wonderful, but this chapter is like so affecting because it scientifically gives a cause and effect. So this chapter we have discussed few times. Today's text is 30. Actually, it started from 22. Each sloka is so relevant to our life. And more we grasp it, more we mold our lifestyle. And we adapt. So this chapter began with one question. When Arjuna was ready to receive the most confidential knowledge he submitted himself to the lotus feet of Krishna. Of course, they are sitting in the chariot in the battlefield, middle of battlefield. And chariot was right in front of Dronacharya and Bhishma Dev. So then Arjuna asked, since the goal is to attain the supreme that you have mentioned in chapter 8, what is the easiest process? I like the way he asked. What is the easiest process? He could have asked, what is the hardest process, or what do you suggest? He said, what is the easiest process? So first verse on this 9th chapter, if you look at it, Krishna gave a very loving way stating what is required. He says, idam tu te guyatamam pravakshami anusuyave genam vijnanam sahitam jad gyatva makshase ashubhat. My dear Arjuna, the most confidential knowledge in both its intellectual and experiential dimensions, I will impart to you because you are non-envious. So that's the only qualification. I mean, it appears like that's the only qualification required to receive that most confidential knowledge. And Krishna says, once you comprehend this knowledge, apply, Jat Getta means once, Getta here not just acquiring the knowledge, but applying the knowledge and realizing, then he says, you will get out of the material modes, Ashubhat, and all the inauspicious things in life, like this body, this mind, false ego. You can make a 16 anartha list. He said, Krishna says actually this will destroy, this will get disappear. Arjuna asked the question, why is this knowledge so special? So Krishna says, it is special because it is the king of knowledge. Raja Vidya Rajaguyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Not only it is the king of knowledge, it is the king of all secret. What is the secret part? That it purifies. Anyone who gets it, you will get purified. Oh, that's nice. And you can directly realize through personal experience. Rajavidya Rajaguyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaka Abhagamam Dharmam. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. And then he says, joyfully practicable and imperishable. Arjuna is very kind. He asked the question, okay, to receive this confidential knowledge that will solve all my problem, why non-envious is the issue? Why non-envious is like a highlighted or front light, headlight. So text 3, Krishna says, Asaddhadhana purusho dharmasasya parantapa aprapamam nivartante mrityu sangsara vartmani. Yes, I'm talking about envy because envious people don't have faith. I never deeply thought about it until, contemplate on those two verses. Krishna says, those who don't have faith, they are actually envious. That's why they don't have faith. Wow. So envy and faith goes side by side in a balance, scale. More envious, less faith. Less envious, more faith. No envy, complete faith. Prabhus and mothers, if that question arises, what is the difference between pure devotee and a neophyte devotee? Mahaprabhu gave only one. I mean, there is a definition, there is a qualification, but Mahaprabhu gave only one. Shraddha Anusari, Uttam Maddam Bhakta Shraddha Anusari, according to their faith. That's it. Yeah. According to the faith. One who has complete faith, he is a Uttam Bhakta, first class. Mediocre faith, medium Bhakta. Very little faith, neophyte Bhakta. And where this idea that less faith coming from? Enviousness within us. So it is not that you get it from outside, it is that correction required inside. Of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur emphasized this. I think I mentioned this last month or month before, that if you check your heart and you say, how do you check whether I have envy or not envy? That may be a question those who are serious, I'm sure, thought. If envy is such a big deal, and why I have envious, what is that envy I am? Sometimes it's difficult to understand sometimes, because when you think of like Prabhupada lecture, he says, people are envious to the cows. I mentioned this before. And it bothered me even. I said, Prabhupada saying we are envy to cow? How we are envy to cow? How human beings are envious to cow? I mean, we're not in competition of eating grass. I don't know if any human being eat grass or hay, or I don't know. I mean, what is that envy? But then end of his lecture, he says, uh, every living being in a kingdom, king supposed to look after every living being, not just human, animals, everybody. The 5 types of living entity always need to be protected. Children, elderly people, sick people, animals, and chastity of the woman. These 5 entities always need to be protected by a good king. So Prabhupada says everybody has a right to live, but we do not allow cow to live. We think cow should be our food. I say, oh, so there is a envy means we do not, because Bhagavatam says also like this. Gunadikam mudam lipshat anukrasham. So gunadikam, if some devotee has a wonderful quality, guna adhikam, he has a good adhik gun. Guna adhikam, mudam lipshat. Do I feel happy that some devotee knows better than me? Some devotee is more advanced than me. Do I feel happy? It's like Bhagavatam is like sometimes attacks, and it's difficult to grasp it. But if we can embrace Bhagavatam teaching, we will be eternally happy. Means if we see a devotee who is more advanced, I should feel happy. Okay. If a devotee is less advanced, my compassion, affection goes towards that person. And if somebody is fierce, I am eager to share and hear also, that not dominating that friend. Hey, how are you doing? And I'm talking about myself. This is not fierce. Fierce means both sides. Parasparam anukatham. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, to see that if you are envy or not, check yourself. I thought that was a very interesting way to look at it. And he gives a very nice, I can say, nice way to look at it, that how you can check. First he says, if you are non-envious, when you see a Vaishnava, how do you feel? That is important. So he gives a whole list, and I'm just going to say what I remember. I don't remember all of them, but I'm trying to follow that also, because I don't want to hold on to this enviousness, which is deadly scary. But we should definitely purify that. So then he says that when you see a sadhu more advanced, do you feel happy? If you feel happy, okay, you can check. I'm not envy. 1. 2. Do you think sometime why Vishnu took exclusive right of supremacy? It's not by election or vote or anything. We don't understand maybe Krishna's position. So sometimes we have a little bit leaning towards some demigod or Kula Devata, some family deity and this, that, and then, okay, Krishna says surrender. It's like a so heavy demand. I mean, maybe you all are nice devotee. You may not understand this, because I think sometimes Durjodhan type of people lives in this world. How many times Krishna tried to cure Durjodhan? In Bhagavatam beginning, if you look at it, the second verse, he said, Dharma prajita kaitavatra parama. Then the next line says, Nirma saranam satam. Nirmat saranam. So dharma, that religiosity completely reject. Kaitava religiosity or cheating religion means non-devotional, not focusing on Krishna Prem. These are actually cheating religion. You can go to heaven, you don't have to go to hell, you will get Sharga, Moksha, even you'll get liberation. These are actually all cheating. Actually, Moksha is the chief leader of the cheating religion, Mahaprabhu says. Bhagavatam says, very interestingly, he says, Dharma prajita kaitavatra parama nirmat saranam satam. So, who will relish Bhagavatam? Those who are nirmat sara. I'm sure all of you heard this. Why envy is compared fishiness? I mean, this is my translation. It didn't say fishiness. But because Prabhupada did not break down on the word, Matsarata, Matsa in Sanskrit, Matsa means fish, Matsa. Matsarata, so Nirmat means opposite. So first is Matsarata. What is Matsarata? Fishiness. In fishy world, if you research in Google's or if you have any aquatic specialist, you can talk to them. They will tell you how the big fish survive and dominate this aquatic world. They dominate this whole aquatic world by eating the small fish. Okay, why they eat small fish? Why not they eat another big fish so they will be okay? Because they have genuine envy. they literally think the small fish will become big. Better become, before it become big, eat it up. This is called fishiness. I don't know if you ever heard that English word, fishiness. This is called nirmat saranam, means no fishiness. Means you adore, respect, love the senior Vaishnava, senior devotees. Compassion to the junior. These are the quality of nirmatsara. And they will release Bhagavatam, not anybody else. Interesting. And that's how it was explained like that. And if you look at, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a whole list of it. He said, if you think that holy name is exaggeration, maybe it requires some mundane interpretation, maybe you are not so serious believing what holy name can do, is due to the envy. It's scary. More you think. Because in the beginning of my spiritual life, I didn't have strong faith. I probably still don't, but I'm trying. So these are the little symptom of enviousness. So we have to be very careful. So this way, Arjuna and Lord Krishna's dialogue went on and on and on, all the way to point where we are now. That Arjuna asked question that you have literally, the 9th chapter is the only chapter that Krishna literally smash all other conception but surrender to him. The famous verse, Bhonam Janmanam Ante Genavan Man Papuddhati Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samatma Sudurlabha. So these are all important. Then Krishna replied that all these other destination, even though Krishna is mentioning, he said they are not good for you. Because first of all, they are temporary and you will be disappointed and you will never come to eternity or your own original existence. That's why Krishna literally, not criticizing all the destination, demigod worship. If you look at this chapter, text 20, 21, Krishna literally push them away. So then Arjuna asked that when you are the source of everything, including all the demigods, is their worship entirely disconnected from you? I thought it was very thoughtful. Arjuna, even in the middle of battlefield, he's concerned about conditioned soul. That was very hilarious, that how he really thinks so deeply. And Lord Krishna was very kind. He says, people who faithfully worship those demigods, actually they worship me, but they do so in ignorance. So then Arjuna asks, what is they are ignorant about? They are ignorance about my supreme position. I am undoubtedly the enjoyer and master of all sacrifice. Those who don't recognize me in truth will fall down. That's very scary. Prabhus and mothers, you don't accept Krishna's supremacy? Look at text 24. He literally said, you will fall down. Just straight. I love that. He's very straightforward. He's not going around or anything. He said, Chabbantite. The word Chabbantite means you will fall down. And you will stay in this material world. Ooh, that's scary. So this discussion went on. Then Arjuna came to what we discussed last week and week before. Does everyone even include those who have done terrible misdeeds? Do they have an opportunity to get out of this miserable? Krishna is really revealed his compassionate mood. He said, yes, even if grievous wrongdoers worship me with undivided devotion, they are to be considered righteous, for their determination is rightly situated. And Krishna gave a very good logic with the next verse, 31, that they will become virtuous and attain enduring peace. Know for sure that no devotee, no devotee of mine will ever perish. Very sweet, very sweet. I remember we discussed, I think, or maybe somewhere we discussed that how Prabhupada was. I like the way Prabhupada connect to our level. He said to these South Indian Brahmins who were asking Prabhupada that how is that the Western people follow the rituals and all other. Prabhupada says they may not follow the rituals like you. And he actually break down in that lecture, you can hear that they're not getting up in the morning and doing all this achman and worshipping Ganeshji, then Shiva, then Vishnu, then you do all the rituals. They may not do all this, but they have a one common thing. What I told them, as Krishna mentioned, they worship him, chant his name, and they're strictly following him. And if you look at that verse, today's verse, Apicheto suduracharo bhajate mam anannava. If anyone is one-pointed, they worship me. Savdur eva samantadva. Sadhur eva. They should be respected, considered saint. Why? Sammak bevashita hisha. Because they're properly situated in his determination. So this is a wonderful. Generally, in a village in India, in this culture, or all over India, I never see, beside ISKCON, nobody really gives such a clear statement that just worship Krishna, chant his name, you will be okay. You don't have to do anything else. Just imbibe the bhakti lifestyle. Best for you, best for family, best for everyone. Hare Krishna, Kamaniya Prabhu, I see you have a raised hand.
Yes, Prabhuji, with your permission, my humble obeisances to you, Prabhuji. So, can I ask you one question, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
So, Prabhuji, as it is mentioned in today's verse 30, that if one commits the most abominable action, but if is situated in devotional service, is considered to be saintly. But what if some devotee himself is committing there's some kind of actions, and that is also to repeatedly. It's not that, because here it is mentioned as I perceive that if one commits most abominable action, not actions, it's not a plural, but what, yeah,
Very
might be,
nice.
yeah. So if devotee is doing something wrong, knowingly that whatever I am doing is wrong, but he is doing consistently just to like gain money or fame or something, they're all material, attachments. So will he be considered saintly, or will it be considered a still devotee, or pure devotee, or how we should perceive this kind of a things for the devotee's life?
If you look at Srila Prabhupada's purport, Prabhu, and you have Bhagavad Gita with you, right?
Yes, Babaji.
If you look at the last paragraph of this verse, can you read that?
Last paragraph?
Yes.
Okay. So on the other hand, one should not misunderstand that a devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds of abominable ways. This verse only refers to an accident due to a strong power of material connections. Devotional service is more or less a declaration of war against the illusory energy. As long as one is not strong enough to fight the illusory energy, there may be accidental fall downs. But when one is strong enough, he is no longer subjected to such fall downs, as previously explained. No one should take advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and think that he is still a devotee. Okay, can I read this again, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
No,
I think it
no.
is answering your question also.
Yeah, no one should take advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and think that he is still a devotee. If he does not improve in his character by devotional service, then it is to be understood that he is not a high devotee. Okay.
Prabhu, Krishna loves actually devotee. It's true. Krishna does. But if somebody may not understand clearly, but he doesn't know how to curb his lust or greed, whatever he has unearthed us. And he tried to take advantage in a sense, like a nam bole papa charan or like this. Then what happened? Krishna really, still he cares for the devotee. He will not let the devotee suffer. He creates a scenery where that devotee will be humiliated. I know a person, actually, he cried even to me, and he was expressing this, that how that he knew that he should not get involved like this, and it's going on and on. But then he also want to advance. And he knew that something has to happen. So he prayed to the Lord. Of course, he didn't expect this way it will happen, that he will be embarrassed in public forum. And it was actually horrible because he completely drowned into depression. And it took almost few years for him to come back. And so, like a couple months back, I had a talk. He said, I'm so afraid right now. So he came back and he's very serious. He's chanting, he's very pakka, chanting even 64 rounds, studying the book. And he said something. I said, tell me what the difference between 2 years back and now. I said, one difference is that I really feel I have a genuine fear. It just scares me because, and I mean, I like it. He said he likes it in a sense that he will never want to go to that route. But it seems like he doesn't know whether he will be ever out of it. That fear is like so much invaded in his consciousness. Because Prabhu, humiliation is the most deadly punishment you can do to another human being. I don't know in animal kingdom whether they have anything like that. They have a competition, they have envy and all this, but not so much. But human, but then in spiritual realm, this is required because extreme humility does appear after big humiliation. Now, do we all have to go through that? No, I hope not. But Prabhupada did say that before you really completely get pure, you will get a little bit hammered. One devotee was reading Srila Prabhupada conversation. He said, generally, everybody, before they come out of Maya, they get like a severe kick. If you look at that verse in Madhya Lila, I think 20 chapter, that Kama Kroder Das Haiya Tara Lati Khai Brahmite Brahmite Kono Sadhu Buddha Pai. Sadhu Buddha. Buddha means medicine man. Sadhu who is medicine man. Kama Kroder Das Haiya Tara Lati Khai Brahmite Brahmite Kono Sadhu Buddha Pai. Tar Upadesh Mantre Pishachi Palai Krishna Bhakti Pai Krishna Nikat Jai. Beautiful, beautiful conclusion. But but the process is very painful. So if that person that you are thinking, not giving up, he will give. He will give up, whether he or she. Krishna will make, but may not be pleasant. Extremely painful.
Yeah. So, Prabhuji, I was thinking in that direction. Yeah, you put a very right perspective. Like nowadays, we see many, preachers, like, they do Bhagavatam and so many things, and they do for, except like, I'm not talking about any institution or something as a specific, but in general, that they do spread the like consciousness of Bhagavan, Suprema, but they do it for their own sense gratification, like money, fame, or prestige, all these things, right? But at the same time, I don't know whether that if they do with a wrong purpose, whether it is considered as a abominable action or not. That is what I'm not sure about it. But they are doing Krishna's. So it's I'm like confused that how this, because in spite of knowing all these things, if people do this, I just got this example right now, so that's why I'm telling this. So if they, even if they know it, if they do it consistently, then I don't know how this will, you know um, um, uh, they will get rectified, or I don't know. And I feel sometimes pity about that.
Okay. I think it's good that we don't expect to see the result. We should wish always good for them.
Yeah.
Because if you see some result, you may regret, oh, that's too much painful life day. Krishna will curb. Now, if you look at in the cycle, Prabhu, how did we come to this material world? There is a chronological, step by step. There's a sequence steps. First is misuse of free will. Then misuse of free will. We looked at allure activity of material nature. Bhayam ditya vinivesha tasyat ishat apitasya viparjaya asmriti. Asmriti means they forgot the relationship. Then the moment it happened, the fear arises in them. People move by powerful emotion. People move by many reasons. You will see amongst our friends or colleagues, everybody in this world, either they move by duty, oh my God, I have to do this, otherwise I won't be able to make money, so I have to keep on going. Out of duty they do, out of social pressure they do, out of fear they do. Fear is very powerful emotion. Out of love is extremely rare, is the best. Not everybody can do that. to be honestly. But this is what needed, and this is what Krishna wants. So Krishna will bring each of us to that point. But when he will bring, it's a question of how soon we want to go. So if somebody does this, Prabhu, you can pray for that person. And that's the best we can do, because the experience that each person will go through, we may not like to experience that thing. It's really painful, very painful. They will be purified. Everybody will be purified eventually. But when they go through this purification, the feeler can only express. Other we may hear, but we may not feel that. And it's very painful. In a material world, I mean, there are many examples, many examples you can say. Jara Bharat fell down. You think it was a joyful? No. I mean, imagine Jara Bharat, he was a king. King Bharat gave up the kingdom, his palace. I didn't know that actually king enjoy riding horses. Prabhupada gave one purport that how Jara Bharat gave. I never even thought that, Actually, that's what the kingly enjoyment. Children, royal, prestige and all this. If you look at Jara Bharat life, if you look at Gajendra life, he was a king Indradumna. If you look at six sons of Marichi, if you look at Chitraketu's life, all these examples, like how they fell down, Ajamil, Choto Haridas, I mean, list goes on. And each one, if you analyze, you see Krishna's hands is intervened in their life. And it was required. So Krishna made them to go through this. First of all, when we came to material world, misuse of our free will, then we got attraction, the allure activity of Maya. What is that? Nija Sartha Paran, Krishna Vimukhan. Harer Maya Danda na Nigata Jalai Kalayati. Sequence one by one. And then false ego appeared, birthday of false ego. There is no false ego in the soul composition. There is no false ego. But false ego appeared at that time. False ego is a product of material nature, but false ego appeared before we enter into material domain. Because without false ego, you cannot even relate to this world. Where the false ego comes from? Lord Shiva is the possessor of that. Lord Shiva has a right to enjoy anything and everything in the material world because he's the king. His wife is the ruling Maya Devi. She's extremely powerful and Shiva is the king. So Shiva has full right to enjoy anything and everything in the material world. There is no consequences. There is nothing wrong. I hope you all get that idea. Why I'm talking this? Because Shiva has access to enjoy anything and everything in this material world, and there is no problem or there is no liability or reaction, nothing. I hope you understand. Anarchy, monarchy, and democracy, they are not same thing. They're big difference. Democracy, President Biden, if he does something wrong, you can take him to court, to Supreme Court, even though he's president. But king, you don't have power. Nobody has power. King is all in all. So big difference, democracy and anarchy, monarchy, all this. So point is that when we enter, as the false ego covers us, the consciousness of Shiva enters into us. That's why that verse is there. Jatra Jiva Tatra Shiva. What? Jatra Jiva Tatra Shiva? This sounds like a very oxymoron. No, it is a fact. When that consciousness enters in us, we think, I can enjoy this world. I can be the next emperor or next president of America. How a simple servant of Krishna think like this. I can be the Brahma, I can be the big demigod. Where do you come up with this? Because consciousness has altered. That's why when Prabhupada glorified the holy name, in that lecture, he says, imposition in the mind that we are incompatible. We are superior energy. Material nature is inferior. How is that material nature, inferior energy, covering the superior energy? Bhagavad Gita 7.5, 7.4. Krishna says 7.4 that these 8 elements is material nature. And then 7.5, he says the jiva, they are superior. How is possible superior has lost his power or something that inferior took over? So you can, think about it deeply and you can find many examples. Like I thought many times, COVID virus is very insignificant. Who is more powerful? Pran Govinda Das or COVID virus? Well, I think like I am more powerful. How can virus, a little insignificant virus, has more power? But when COVID affects your heart, you are under COVID. Why? How is that? Don't put logic. Ask yourself. Many examples you think like it. Like we are controlled by, isn't? When infection takes over, we fall for it. I didn't have fever for decades, but I used to have a fever in India when I was in Mayapur. Once in a while, heavy work, and then I would get a heavy fever. And then, I used to think like, how is that fever controls me? I thought fever is a material product, it's like lower than the living entity. Yes, but if you think very deeply, it is we allow the inferior energy to cover us. Where did we allow? What this world is doing. Every moment people are desiring to enjoy this matter, isn't? Every moment. Look at this nice car. I wish I would have that. Oh, are you soul desiring for the matter or not? Yes, you are. If there is a person looks very handsome or beautiful goes by, we want to look. So we are the one who want to be controlled by that. But that's not what I meant, but that's what it is. Look at this house, so big, nice house. One person was saying, I want to buy that big house. I said, why? You will have the same sleep. You're not going to sleep extra, or what is that you enjoy? If you really think very deeply, there is not any extra enjoyment. Your stomach capacity is still same. By buying big house, you're not going to eat more. Rather, you'll get sick if you eat more than your stomach capacity. So where is that? But the desire we have, we like to dominate matter. So in order to dominate, we come under. The whole process of bhakti, purification, means connecting with Krishna, who can actually free us from this kind of desire. It is difficult for us to give up that desire. But knowledge, vidya kutarena, vidya, Vidya means knowledge. Kutarena means acts. It acts like acts. Vidya kutarena sitena dhira. Jad anudda ashino jukta karma granti nibandana. Bhagavatam first canto second chapter, it says Jad anudha ashina jukta. Ashin means also like sword. More we hear these things, then deep down in your heart, you think, I don't want material. Why I'm desiring all this? Then you just first time in your life, you're asking that, I don't want this. I don't, wow. You know how many million life you went through? You want it, you want it, you want it. And now in human life, you came in contact with Krishna consciousness. You say, I don't want material things. I'm tired of it. Whatever I have is enough. I'll utilize that for serving Krishna. I don't want any more greed. No, no more, no more, no more. This is the first time in our life cycle. So Krishna is handling very well. He doesn't forces us. He's giving us our own pace. All right, you progress according to your, how fast you want to drive, 10 miles an hour in bhakti path or 100 miles an hour. It's not up to Krishna. It is up to each soul. Krishna allows that. If somebody is advancing, getting out, sometime Prabhu, as you mentioned, pretending, sometime people have a strong desire to enjoy something. They can't give up. They cannot be honest. It's very difficult. Very difficult. One thing we should do, we should act such a way that they don't go away from Krishna consciousness. Because that hurts the soul. Also, Krishna is not happy. If you look at, I mentioned, I think last week or week before, when Duryodhan, in Duryodhan's case, Krishna himself told Bhima how to break his thigh. Bhima didn't know that. Because, Duryodhan's body is sealed by his mother because of her chastity, power of chastity. But Mother Gandhari was very upset. He said, I told you to come naked. Why did you cover this private part? Oh, Basudev on the way told me, what are you doing? Why are you going naked like this? You are a big man. He's not a small boy. He's a big man, Duryodhan. He said, my mother said to come naked. She's going to seal my body with power. It's like a shield. Nothing can pierce. Yeah, that's good, but still you are a young man. At least cover the private part. Of course, Gandhari, she's a powerful lady, Mataji. She's a chaste lady. But she doesn't have a devotion mind. So she hold resentment. And at the end of the war, she actually cursed. She told Krishna, of course, Krishna had to allow it because her curse will have no effect if Krishna doesn't sanction it. He said, you caused for me to lose all 100 children. And I curse you, you lose all your Jodu dynasty. I don't know what she was thinking. She has like a power or something. I'm sure something she thought. Anyway, Krishna played with that game. So the point is, you may say Krishna arranged Duryodhan to lose the battle. But Prabhupada is so kind. Prabhupada knew the heart of Krishna. He revealed. But this word means Krishna was not happy seeing Duryodhan just died as a normal instead of becoming devotee. Why Krishna arranged all these things? Just for one reason, for Duryodhan to come back. At least he should regret that I'm sorry, Krishna. Even Krishna revealed that he's God. Before he died, Krishna revealed to him. He said, I am Supreme God. What is that verse? Nivedita Atma Bichiki Shito me. That these Pandavas, they are Nivedita Atma. They actually surrender everything to me. I am Supreme God. This is my kingdom. It is not your kingdom. I want my devotee to rule it. And Pandavas, they gave their life, their Nivedita Atma. They should rule this, not you. Unless you surrender, you cannot rule. Now, how much you want Krishna to tell you? Personally telling. Did it, but Krishna will not force anyone to surrender. You cannot force a soul and call it surrender. Like Prabhupada gave that example. A man put a gun on the forehead of a girl and say, you love me or I'll kill you. I thought it was a very appropriate example Prabhupada gave. You love me or I'll kill you. And then he asked the devotees, what is wrong with that? So devotee figured it out. He says, well, love cannot be forced. Prabhupada said exactly like that. It's a choice. Love cannot be forced. So we have to think like that. If you look at Prabhu, all these examples, I hope you don't see that person's example like that. But you can pray for him. Please. Is my request to you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your such a in-depth clarification on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. So it's 6 o'clock. We will, this will be good. We will discuss next week, unless someone has any further discussion or any takeaway. Nice to see you, Ajit Prabhu from Las Vegas, Namananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Taral Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Jacob, Somen Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpaturu vesya kridasam. Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Pramanandi.